Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I am seated once again by my husband, Matt.
I'm back this week.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Welcome back. It's nice to see you. Well, if you looked at the title of this podcast, you might be thinking that we're going to be talking about food and nutrition. And although that is normally the case with me, I am a hungry little hippo. Maybe we would even be like talking about how the way people are eating and trying to get in shape is wrong, or like starving themselves, or Ozempic, blah, 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 blah. Now, all of that is true, but that is not what today's topic is about.
Yeah, today's topic is something I'm pretty passionate about. Number one, it gets me pumped. Number two, it reminds me of how easy life is. Now, you may be saying to yourself, easy? What do you mean easy? You have no idea how hard I've got it, everything that's going on in my life. Maybe you're struggling at getting into the gym because of family activities. Maybe work is getting in the way of that. Maybe even nutrition's tough because of old temptations or even new temptations if you're in an office environment and they're bringing in food. Maybe in business, you're just not making enough money because you don't have enough leads, so you don't have enough sales. Even maybe you're struggling in a relationship. There's many things you're thinking, Matt, what do you mean life is easy? Now, I'm not saying all those aren't obstacles, because they are, because we have them. You all have those. We all do. But when you are hungry enough, you can overcome any obstacle. And I'll get back to why I get so pumped up about this and why it reminds me of how life is so easy. I'll get back to that in a minute, but we want to give you a couple examples of some people who are hungry and see how you can relate to that.
Yeah. I wanted to start with one of my clients, female, has started with me probably, it's been probably about 6 months, a couple weeks, right? And at the end of the day, her ultimate goal was to show up as her best self for her husband. And they were going on vacation of June of this year. So June of 25.
Started in June of 24. She's going on vacation June 25.
Correcto.
Yep.
Not only looking like a badass, but the confidence and the swagger is such a great word, right?
Yep.
The swagger that goes with it. She wanted his jaw to drop when she put on her bikini. She wanted to be able to walk around the pool. Ladies, I don't know if you are like this. She wanted to be able to bend over and pick something up in her bikini. I know guys won't understand this, but women, you know how frustrating that can be. She wanted that tone, that tightness, right?
And to take it a step further, I know this client, she said she hadn't worn a bikini in 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
She wanted it all. Yeah.
Yes. So knowing that I have about a year, start to finish, she had a good amount of weight to lose and or muscle to put on, right? So, we do a three-phase approach. So the plan was to take her through the rapid fat loss phase, right? We're really good at that. A short maintenance phase so that she could have a little breather around the holidays, right? Like get back to the kind of that like metabolic reset, and then a muscle building phase, and then shred her down even lower and reveal all of that muscle that we built, that amazing tone that muscle building phase is so crucial for. So we did a rapid fat loss phase, and she was stoked about how she looked, even without getting through the whole plan. She's like, I could go on vacation now. I said, no. Girl, we're not done. I haven't even started. That's step one. So we did the maintenance, the short little maintenance phase to just kind of like keep the metabolism where we needed it, start raising calories so that we can get ready for this muscle building phase. Emphasis on the word building and all of the things that go along with it, right? Like in a build, in a bulk, your weight's going to go up. But during this, we're focusing on some serious strength, some muscle building right before we shred it all off. So again, with that in mind, she's in the middle of this muscle building phase. And of course, life changes, right? It's just, here we go. Here's the twists. Here's why it's great to do this with a coach. Right in the middle of her muscle building phase last week, right after the holidays, all that food and all that sweet, sweet, sweet fuel we've been using for her workouts and just packing on muscle. Her husband comes home and says, guess what? I got asked to host a trip to Mexico for my job. So he works at a big company, and they're taking some employees to Mexico, and he gets to host this trip. And the trip is March 10th. So we now have a little over 8 weeks.
It was a June goal. Now it's March.
Yeah. This is the beauty of having a coach with that. She calls me, and I can hear the concern in her voice. I can hear the concern of, what did I just do to my body? There's no way I can get to this in March. There's no way I'm going to have that goal that I'm so desperate for. And it's not working on the timeline that I had planned. I said, okay, that's okay. We're going to adjust. And she's like, but what if we don't hit? I said, no, we're going to hit. We may need to adjust some things, but I will for sure get you where you wanted by that March 10th goal. And I want you to think about that. Think about how hungry she is to achieve this goal. Think about that potential roadblock. It's not even a setback. It's a roadblock. And we have to find a way around it. In life, so many people let such things get in the way. Or even like some people would say, well, we did our best to get where we are, I guess I'm just going to have to deal with it. No. The obstacles are part of the journey. It wouldn't be a road trip if you didn't have an occasional detour. Now, does that mean you get out of the car and set everything on fire because of the detour? No. You get through the detour and you readjust your plan. Cliff's Notes version. We had mapped out the 4 things that you need to stay hungry when she started. We got to that crystal clear vision where she can imagine herself in that bikini. She can describe how great it's going to feel to walk around the pool and bend over and pick things up and not have to worry about tucking things in or sucking her gut or putting on a cover up. We went right back to that when she called me. We went right back to that vision. And then I explained all that work we did over the summer to ramp up her metabolism, all that work we did during the maintenance phase to make sure that she kept her metabolism high, and all that work we did during the muscle building phase, even though she felt like she was getting bigger. Oh man, this is going to be so simple. So we ended her build a little sooner than we wanted, but she's already shredding down. She's already kind of like, okay, I don't feel so puffy. Oh, okay. She's going to be in great shape for this trip.
Yeah, and it's a great feeling to know that you can change your physicality like that, and be 100% comfortable in anything. All those things you said, the bending over, the things like that. It's always about, it's about being 8 to 12 weeks, sometimes 16 weeks, but 8 to 12 weeks to be beach ready.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to the beach, maybe you've got a photo shoot, maybe you got whatever it is, but it's about being, once you get into that seasonal approach, you can always be there. Just like that, all of a sudden things, she cut, what is that? March, April, May, cut 3 months off of her plan, but she was already 8 to 12 weeks ready to go. She had 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen this so much with not only clients, but business owners as well, that there are or are not hungry for what they want. There'll be business owners who will start a business and they're so freaking hungry for that goal, whatever that goal is, that nothing stops them. And they work crazy hours. They do whatever it takes, even though they may not see a payoff coming in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, however long it takes. But they just keep going because they are hungry for it. Where you'll see other business owners who will work hard at first, because I don't think there's anyone who goes into business that doesn't work hard at first. But they'll work hard at first. But if things don't start to pay off, don't start getting a paycheck or whatever it is, in the amount of time that they envisioned, they start working less. They start putting in less hours. And this, of course, leads to predictably less results. It's just like working out. And they just aren't hungry enough.
Yeah. And that is true with clients as well, because sometimes it takes a little while to see major progress, right? Like if you've been on a diet for more than a year, you know what that grind feels like. I mean, if you if you want to completely transform every part of your life, it takes a few seasons of work, which it might take a few years. Now, can we get to that weight loss phase in, 6 to 10 weeks? We've talked about this. Yes. But then that next phase needs to happen. Like they're all integral parts. And that's why when I'm talking with brand new clients, I'm like, what you may see is 6 to 10 weeks out, but that's not where I'm stopping. That's not the vision we have for your body.
Yeah. So I want to jump back to where I said, this gets me so pumped up and life is easy. The reason it gets me pumped up is because, I always knew I could hit goals, but they were never a for sure thing until I went down this journey with Jen 5, 6, 7 years ago and realized that it pumps me up because I just have to be hungry enough for it. Meaning, if you visualize it, you think about the rewards and everything in between that, the visualization, the rewards and everything that goes on. I know it's going to happen as long as I am hungry enough for that goal. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to put in the effort if I do the right things. So it pumps me up. When I want to do something, I know it can be done. The second part is why life is so easy is because 90% of the people out there, and I'm throwing that out, I don't know what their actual statistic is. It's probably higher than that. 90% of the people out there just aren't hungry enough. Heck, probably 90% of the people out there won't even start. They'll think about it and they won't start. Want to be the best looking person on the beach? I don't know if you've been to a beach lately. It ain't that hard to be the best.
It's really not.
Shape.
I'm a solid 10 out here.
And that's why life is easy. You just got to be a little bit better.
You are too. You're a solid 10.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Looking at business, if you own a real estate agency and you want to be the best real estate agent in your town, you just have to be better than the person that you're competing with. You just have to be just enough hungry enough to outwork them and do a little bit more.
I think outwork, yes. Outlast, yes. But also stay hungry with that end vision.
Yep.
100%. That's where you have to get relentless.
That's where the obstacles don't throw you off.
And that's where the self-sabotage won't affect you.
Correct.
Right? The reason we never hit our goals in the past, the reason I never hit my goals in the past is because I wasn't hungry enough for that end vision because I didn't believe it was possible.
Yep.
And once I resolved that and know in my heart of hearts that it's possible, it happened like that. So I want to leave you with action steps. We're all about tactics and how to get this done, right? How to become hungry for your goal, no matter the goal. This can be lifestyle. This can be for your love life. This can be for your fitness and wellness. But whatever the goal, like I mentioned, I did this when this client started with me. I do this at the beginning of every single one of my clients. And if I don't have enough clarity to the vision that gives you goosebumps, we're going to keep revisiting it until I find that vision that I know has you hungry, right? I want to be healthy. That does not get me out of bed at 4 a.m. And Matt sort of brushed on it, but here are the concrete steps. Now, before I do, I want to tell you, we have had clients break their arm. Now reject. You're safe and healthy, right? Okay. You have an arm injury. Let's focus on legs and make sure your nutrition's tight. Let's figure out how to move that arm so that you do have some mobility, and let's listen to what your doctor's saying. But there's 70% of your body that isn't injured. So how do we work that? We've had clients change jobs, and now they travel all the time. Okay. We focus on planning to get everything in and how to travel effectively so that the weekends aren't so strict. I've had clients get pregnant. Okay. We focus on functional movements and nutrition to support both mom and baby before and after the pregnancy. I have so many pregnant clients that they're like, why am I lifting 30 pounds? I'm like, your baby's going to be 30 pounds. That's why. The point is, we have seen a lot of people with a lot of struggles and a lot of different roadblocks. And they are so hungry, we push through the obstacles. Sometimes we jump over it. Sometimes we run around it. But even me, when life gets busy for me with kids and the businesses and marriage and workouts, all the other things, like many of you have, it's good to go back regularly. This isn't a once a year thing. This could be a daily thing.
Yeah. Daily.
Right? That realignment. And think about your vision. And then maybe think about that gal that maybe broke her arm and didn't stop. Or many of the other examples that you've seen in your own life where people have had massive obstacles, but they overcame them because they were hungry. Okay. Stepping off my soapbox, putting on my professor's hat. Here are the steps you need to stay hungry. Number 1, you have to define what it really is. You have to get so crystal clear. What gets your heart racing? Is it your spouse seeing you naked and reacting positively? There. Is it the feeling you get when you walk into your closet and pick anything out because you know it's going to fit perfect? Is it walking into a room and commanding the people's presence? What is it you want to feel all over consistently because you've hit this goal? Define it. And the next thing is, number 2, you need to define the plan. You can't just do the things to do the things. You have to have an accurate plan that's going to get you from point A to point B with the least amount of resistance as possible. This not only means the tactics, but how you're going to fit this in your life. One of the main questions I ask when I'm sitting with a new client, what time are we working out? Oh, I don't really know. Well, we need to plan it because it's going to be your time every single day. And you need to set that barrier around your family so they understand this is my time. Number 3, probably the hardest, is you must get honest with yourself and decide what you need to say no to that is going to get in your way. Accountability is everything here. Because if it's just saying no to dessert, you need somebody to help you stay on track. Matt is my accountability, like, man alive. If I'm in a bulk, bread pudding every night, let's go. He's like, Jen, you don't need that tonight. I'm like, you're right. Thank you. I wasn't as positive when I said, okay, thank you.
No, she was not.
I was very angry. That's fine. Accountability is everything here. Because when shit's hitting the fan, you're going to want to self-sabotage. The 4th is my favorite. How are you going to celebrate? What are you going to do when you get there? How will you know when you get there? What big event can you tie to this goal? Right? What's the sound you think of when people celebrate? Like, how are you going to cheer for yourself? You got to figure out something celebratory to tie to that goal.
Yeah. Jen just laid out those 4 steps. And that is why I go back to that passion thing, because I know what's going to happen if I do those 4 steps. I get hungry enough and I'm going to continue going. And it can be the same for you. You've got to sit down right now. And if you weren't taking notes, hit the rewind button, go back to those 4 things, write them down. Working with those 4 steps is the first step to hitting any goal that you want to achieve, to stay hungry to hit that goal when obstacles come up.
I love it. Let's wrap there, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you share it with somebody that you think could benefit from this. And I want you guys to stay hungry. Talk soon.